Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, this episode is going to be me showing you how I prep my chicken, just whole, just a bunch of chicken breasts and throw them in the fridge, and it's really good for meal prep. And yeah, this is going to be air fryer chicken breasts, and let's just hop straight into it. I'll show you guys all the ingredients. Alright. Get up nice and close. I don't like how that is looking. Actually, hold up. Give me a quick second. That's a little better. All right. So let's get started. Obviously, chicken breasts. These are from Costco. Just very simple. Had those in the freezer. Took them out the freezer last night. Let them thaw, and they are ready to be cooked. Ingredient number 2: we have some 100% Italian extra virgin olive oil, just to sprinkle a little bit on there. Smoked paprika, a little bit of onion salt, some granulated garlic ale, which is just garlic powder, to my knowledge. This chipotle mango seasoning. This is the secret ingredient for my chicken personally. I love that on chicken. And salt and black pepper, obviously. And that's it. Pretty simple. And let's just hop straight into it. I'm going to cut into the chicken breast here actually really quick. I'm going to start off with preheating the air fryer that I have. This is just a Cosori air fryer. I'm not sure exactly what model, but let's just preheat that bad boy to 400 degrees. That'll take about 4 minutes, which is going to be perfect because that's about how long seasoning the first round of chicken breasts is going to take. So let's see if I can get the angles right here. All right, just going to cut into this, into the packaging here. Open it all up. Like I said, I'm going to just be making all of these right now because I'm a university student and I like to just meal prep, although I'll probably be getting into making more individual meals, but for now, I'll just be making all of these at once and then throwing them in the fridge. So I like to go, depending on how big the breasts are, I'll start usually with the biggest breasts, and I'll just go 3 because that's what fits best in my air fryer tray. So let's grab 3. I like to throw them upside down just so that I can get I like to season both sides. And if I put them upside down, then I can season the bottom side first and then flip them around and season the top side. And then a little more seasoning stays on the top side of the breast, which I think just makes them look a little bit better. So, moving over here. I'll zoom in a little bit for you guys so that you can get a nice view there of the chicken breasts. Just want to get the angles good here. All right. Now, we're going to start off with the oil. I'm going to be trying out this technique because the oil that I have, you'll see here the spout is really big. That's it compared to my finger. And it pours out a lot of oil all at once. And I haven't found the greatest method for pouring not that much oil out, because I don't really want to buy a whole new kind of, I don't know what you would call it, but like an oil pourer. So I'm going to try just covering the majority of the spout and then pouring some of it out. Perfect. Oh yeah, that works really good. I don't like that much oil on my stuff, but yeah, that's just a paper towel, covered most of the spout, and that's actually perfect. So let's hop straight in there now with the salt and the pepper and just all the seasonings. I like to be relatively generous, but if you've been following along recently to the past couple of videos, you know I've been trying to decrease my salt intake little by little, get myself resensitized back to it, because I've been eating my food with a lot of salt for the past few months, and it's just way too much salt. And you know how when you do something a lot, you become desensitized to it. And then if you stop doing that thing for a long time, then you get resensitized to it and you don't need as much to feel the same effects. That's kind of what I'm aiming for with the salt here. I'm just trying to wean off it slowly but surely so that I can get the same salty effects with less overall salt. So that was just the salt and pepper. Now we're gonna go in with the onion salt. Not much at all. I don't want the onion taste to be too strong. Boom, get that. Now we're heading in with the garlic powder. This I like to be a little bit more generous. Again, not too much. You don't want that to be overpowering. Head straight in with the paprika right after that. And then the secret ingredient, which I showed you guys earlier. And just get a little bit on there for a little kick. And this gives most of the flavor, in my opinion. I really like this seasoning here. And I don't know if you guys could hear that, but the air fryer is all done preheating, so that's good. I like to put quite a bit of seasoning on the chicken. Maybe that was a little bit too much, but it's all right because we're gonna flip these breasts around. And we can just season this side a little bit less. So yeah, these 3 big breasts will fit pretty well into my one tray for the air fryer, which I'll show you guys later, or just once I finish seasoning these, which is why I'm making them 3 at a time, or I'm seasoning them 3 at a time. All right, let's get a little bit of oil on this side here, using the same technique from before. Oh, that poured a little too much out. There you go. I really don't like that much oil on my chicken breast. Might also just spread that around just a little bit with the tongs, just to coat them a little bit. Because when you, or I've noticed that when you put it on the bottom side first, then you flip them over, it kind of douses the bottom side. It spreads the oil around a decent amount, but then when you do it on this side, I'm not flipping them over again. So it's good to spread the oil around just a little bit. Also helps the seasonings stick on just a little bit better. There's the salt. Here's the pepper coming in. And the chipotle mango seasoning just gives it that little extra kick, which I really like. Makes it so that eating the chicken breast is not just as plain as everyone says chicken breast is. Garlic powder, onion salt here. Whoop, don't want to put too much of that. I hope you guys can see kind of the relative amounts. Actually, let me just check to make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing here. Add in some paprika, not too much, just a nice sprinkle over top. And then the mango seasoning straight in there. There we go. Might add just a little bit more on this side of the chicken breast because I missed it a little bit. And same thing on this side. And there we go. There is my seasoned chicken breast right in the bowl. And now let's get the air fryer nice and ready. All right, so here's the air fryer. I'm just gonna show you over here. I don't have that much counter space, so this is where I'm gonna set up the actual tray here, and this is where I'm gonna transfer in my chicken breasts. So I bought these off Amazon. I love these. They're just like a little parchment to kind of make cleanup a lot easier. What you can do is that you can actually just put stuff directly on the grill that you saw there, or directly in the basket. But then I don't like it. I've never actually even used that technique because I feel like it's just going to make cleanup so much more difficult. And with this one, It keeps all the juice in there. It makes cleanup so much easier. I just like doing that. So let me grab the chicken breast. There we go. We have the seasoned chicken breast here. And it's just gonna go straight into the air fryer tray, just like that. These are some big breasts, as you can probably see. I'm just gonna try and spread them out as evenly as possible. Not crowd the air fryer tray too much. There we go, that's looking good. Let me make sure you guys can see that. There we go. And we'll head over straight to the air fryer here. And very simple, just pop these in there. You know what, actually really quick, I see that there's a little bit on this breast here that's not seasoned as much as I want, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of the chipotle mango seasoning in there on that side. Not sure if you guys can see this, sorry if you can't, but just a little bit. There we go. Make sure that all of it is seasoned and straight into the air fryer. So this is gonna go for 10 minutes at 400, and then I'm gonna flip them after the 10 minutes is up. And since these are big breasts, well, actually I'm only doing 3, so usually I'll kind of go between 20 and 22 minutes at 400 for the chicken breasts. Let's just start that air fry. So, right, normally I go for a, like I said, 20 to 22 minutes based on how many chicken breasts I have in there. I actually don't know if this is the correct way of thinking about it, but the way I think about it is that the more chicken breasts that are in the tray, so like let's say if I do 4 instead of 3, then the more crowded it's going to be, and it's going to take a little bit more time for each of them to cook through. You guys let me know if that's actually how that works or not, because I don't know. But usually if it's 3 chicken breasts and they're not huge, I'll go 10 minutes and 10 minutes. And then if I'm doing 4 chicken breasts, I'll do 10 minutes, flip them again, and then another 2 minutes. That's just what I found works for me. And yeah, so I will see you guys when the 10 minutes is up on that air fryer timer. All right, so first 10 minutes is up, and while I was doing that, or while those were cooking, just ended up spicing the next couple batches just so I can get a head start on those. And I'll show you guys the process now of me just giving these a quick flip and tossing them back in for another 10 minutes. Very simple stuff. Ooh yeah. Take a look at those. Those are looking nice and good. Who says healthy eating can't taste good? Look at that. All right. Very simple. Just a nice flip. And this is what I like about the parchment. I don't know if you guys can see, I'll show you in a second if you can't, but there's some juice and like grease collecting there, and it just collects it all. Doesn't get all in the grill there. Super nice and tidy. Yeah, so you guys can see there, collecting in the bottom. I think I will give these, since they're just so thick, these breasts, I think I'll give them at least 21 minutes. But yeah, I'll just toss those in for 11 minutes, and then that'll be good for that. So I will catch you guys when those are done, and see you in a second. All right, so those just finished in the air fryer. I'm gonna actually quickly just take a fork and a knife. I don't usually do this, but these breasts are so thick that I'm gonna just cut into one of them and just make sure that it's fully cooked in there. And yeah, that's looking good. That's the thickest one, so it should be good. Uh-oh, my poster's falling apart. Edge of my poster frame just fell apart. Anyway, I digress. Those are all done, so I'm gonna grab my bowl. Right there. And very simple, just take these out and transfer right into the bowl. This is just what's going to be going into my fridge. This is just what I store all my my chicken breast in when I do make it. So as you guys can see there, all the juices and stuff. Maybe some people like to save those. I don't know. I just like to collect them in there, and then I'll eventually throw it in the garbage with some paper towel to soak it up. So here I have actually 5 breasts. I could have actually put 4 in that batch. Usually the those trays come with either 1 or 2 more breasts, but I guess those 3 were so huge that they didn't come with that many. So I'm gonna see if I can fit all 5 in here, because I don't really want to do just a batch of 3 and then a batch of 2 chicken breasts. So I'll see if I can fit all 5 in here. It will be a little bit crowded, but that's all right. I'll just add a little bit more time. And also, once they start cooking, they shrink a little bit because they lose some of that moisture. There we go. Should be good to fit all 5 in there. These breasts aren't too big, so I don't mind doing that. Yeah, there we go. Just spread them out as much as possible. Like I said, they will shrink a little bit after the first round in there. So chuck those in for 10 minutes. And I'll catch you guys when they're done. All right, here we go. This is how the chicken breasts are looking after 10 minutes. Like you can see, they're looking very, very nice. And they shrunk down just a little bit, like I said that they would. So this is going to be very easy. Just giving them a nice flip, and we'll toss them back in. Gotta be careful because this chicken breast is right on the edge of the parchment there. Gonna kind of shift these over so that this chicken breast doesn't start spilling over the edge, because that's going to be a pain to clean if it does. There we go, very simple. They fit a little easier into the pan now. So I'll just toss those in for another 10 minutes, and then I'm going to flip them again, probably do another 2 or 3 minutes after that. Alright, so there we go. That was the second 10 minutes in there. I'm going to just give them one more flip. You can see they're looking nice and juicy. I think I'll give them 2 more minutes. That should be good, because they're not the thickest breasts. But yeah, very simple. I'll add in 2 more minutes and I'll show you guys the finished product. All right, these just finished up, those last 2 minutes in the air fryer. So I'm gonna chuck them all into my bowl with the rest of my chicken breasts. I've just made these enough times that I know with my air fryer set to 400 that amount of time is going to be good enough to cook them through. But obviously you have to individualize towards yourself, so don't necessarily just take the cook times here without checking to see if your chicken is cooked all the way through. And you guys see all that oil and stuff there at the bottom. I'm just going to soak that up with some paper towel, and then all this can go in the garbage, and the cleanup is going to be much easier than if I did not use the parchment paper there. Now, if you really wanted to be critical, you could probably say that I should be using this for something, or that maybe I should pour it back over the chicken, something like that. I don't know. Not really too worried about that for myself because I like how the chicken tastes like this. But when I make some more gourmet type meal, that's probably when I'll think more about the specifics of something like that. But the whole point of me soaking that up is that my garbage doesn't get all liquidy and collection at the bottom. So you see here, I want to even soak up that. Just soak all of it up so that it gets infused into the paper towel there, and then there's not a bunch of liquid collecting at the bottom of my garbage. And I don't necessarily want all that fat and stuff going down the drain because it can collect, and I just know that pouring a bunch of fat down the drain is usually not ideal. So into the garbage it goes, and it's basically all cleaned up there. So I'm gonna just take this, and into the garbage this goes as well. And there you guys see, basically it's all clean. There's just a little bit that's spilled out there, but that's basically all clean. I'll just give that a quick wash, and that's super easy to clean compared to if I just put the chicken directly on there. So thank you guys so much for watching. That's how I make my air fryer chicken breast for meal prep, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'll catch you guys in the next one.